What an awesome new family. This is incredible. Carl and Mia and Jen and Abby and Beth and all of the people whom I've met are just extraordinary. We're all pioneers. We're all walking out into a new space that is, in some sense, a very old space. When I was in Winston-Salem a few months ago, an old-timer said to me, "Edgar, we used to have community like this, and then we got air conditioning. And we forgot to talk about each other and to be together. So we're reinventing what it means to be community." I should start by telling you maybe the story of how this began, because I had no business trying to create a new kind of money. I'm not an economist. Maybe my biggest asset was that I didn't know anything about economics. So I didn't know it was impossible to create another kind of money. This all starts, frankly, lying in a hospital bed in intensive care after a heart attack in 1980 that blew away, according to the enzyme test, 60% of my heart. And what I was told by the doctors then was that at best I could expect to have maybe 2 good hours a day when I was functioning. And I thought, I don't want, if all I've got is 2 good hours a day, I don't want to be useless. And that was 1980, and we had a lot of other useless people lying around. We had the folks being let off in Detroit, we had folks in Appalachia, we had folks on Native American reservations, we had teenagers, we had the elderly, we had the disabled. So there were a lot of other people whom we were labeling useless. And I don't think anybody likes being useless. Thanks. And so I thought, well, how do we begin to put useless people together with unmet needs? And I thought, well, we used to use money, but we don't seem to have enough of that kind of money, so why can't we invent another kind of money? And at that point, most of my friends concluded that that heart attack had probably gotten to another organ. And, but I could wander around the streets asking that question, and that was okay. And what's happened since has been remarkable, but I do want to say, when time banking reaches, as it does with Abby in Kent, and as it is here in Louisville, when it reaches the heart of this country, something different is about to happen. And I would predict that this is going to a radical new scale within the year, and that we're going to see the scale of time banking increase as baby boomers hit 65, each 10,000 of them hit 65 each and every day for the next 17 years. That's a lot of folks. I must admit, I've yet to meet a baby boomer who acknowledged they were aging, but most of them admit that they have elder parents. And we're going to need each other in a whole new kind of way, whether or not, even with the expansion of healthcare, I don't think that Obamacare is going to walk your dog if you go into the hospital. I just don't think that we have insurance policies that will do that. Now, there are a couple things that I want to say, because most of you know that time banking is about helping somebody and then helping somebody and they're helping somebody else. I don't think that many of you appreciate what that is a statement. That time banking is not just about saying, let's be nice to each other. Time banking is about taking a stand about value. It's about saying that there are in our lives more important things than money. Yes. It's about remembering something like the beginning of the Constitution about all people being created equal and what equality really means. And it's about taking a stand that we can live up to that ideal and that vision. It's about willingness to say that, no, we didn't pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. I don't know about you, but I arrived into this planet 9 months in debt, and I've been going downhill ever since. None of us, to my knowledge, made it on our own, okay? And the notion that we need each other and that there's nothing wrong and everything right in saying I need the help of another, that's in fact an affirmative thing. To be willing to accept help, to ask help as well as to give help is important. In case you hadn't noticed, we have a nation that's going into debt in order to preserve the economy. We know something about debt in this country, and we know that if it preserves the quality of life we have, that the most important thing we have is to be willing to go into debt in order to make sure that everybody can eat and that everybody has a job and that everybody can make a contribution. So, I think that if we begin to understand that when you earn a time dollar, you're not just doing something nice, you're making a statement. You're making a statement that we need another kind of politics, a politics of trust, a politics that we believe in each other, a politics that human beings are special and that we can reach out to each other, that we need each other, and that we can build, that we have the ability, we have the composite ability, the collective ability to build the kind of world that we want to live in ourselves and that we want to leave to our children and to their children. We have that power. If you look around this room and if you start doing the work of time banking that says, share with me the things you know how to do, I would tell you that there is no community in this country that is poor. There are communities without money, but you put 10 people together and each one of them can do between 10 and 20 things, and you can fill a whole wall like this with the list of what 15 or 20 people can do. That's the real wealth of this country. You are the real wealth of this country, and it's about time we appreciate this country's real wealth. I did make a discovery about money when I was developing time banking that I want to share. Money does define value by price. That's no secret to you. And price determines value based on supply and demand. So if something is scarce, it's valuable. If something is abundant, according to the money market, it's cheaper. If something is really abundant, it's either dirt cheap or worthless. And I suddenly realized that that meant that being a human being was worthless, because we are not scarce. We are abundant. And what that means is that we have a monetary system that has devalued what it means to be a human being, to care for each other, to come to each other's rescue, to come together and make decisions, to stand up for what's right, to oppose what's wrong. There's nothing scarce about those abilities. Those are the abilities that enabled our species to evolve and to survive. Those are the abilities that our species will depend upon in order to preserve the planet. There's nothing scarce about that. And so I decided we needed a currency that honored what it meant to be a human being. And that's why every hour is equal. You know, the most precious thing each of us has is each hour on the planet that we've been given. Each hour of our life is the most sacred and precious thing we have. And it's about time we understood that there's nothing more valuable than what we do when we give an hour of the most special thing we have to another human being. That is awesome, that is real wealth, and that is the currency we need. Now, I've got nothing against money and marketable skills, but they're not the only thing that are important. You know, Gandhi was a lawyer, but I don't know how good a lawyer he was. Mother Teresa was a teacher, and I don't know what test scores her children got, and I really don't care. And I'm even told that Jesus was a carpenter, and I don't know how good a carpenter he was, and I don't think I really care. Because what we value, what we honor, what we really hold sacred are the capacities of what it means to be a human being. And you're here tonight taking a stand, not just for being nice, but taking a stand for what it means to be a human being and what it means in terms of the trusteeship you hold for this planet, for our species, and for all species. Because together, we're the ones who have to be the trustees of the world that we've been given. And we didn't create that world, but we sure have a duty to pass it on better than we found it for those who come after us. I think the last thing I want to mention is, where is this going? Now, all of us know about Facebook and about IT and the revolution that IT has brought. But I would like to think that we need more than virtual friends on Facebook. We need real friends. And time banking takes virtual friends and makes them real friends, but an anthropologist has told me that what we've done with IT is we've radically shortened the time that it normally takes to create trust. And we've radically shortened the way that it makes it possible for us to bridge the great divides of age, class, gender, race, and geography. So that's what time banking has enabled us to do. We've used IT to finally reunite as one family. Now, we are going to see, particularly as we move forward, that more and more there's an appreciation that no matter how specialized we are and how specialized our professions are, that if we can't enlist the people whom we're helping as partners, we can't succeed. I give brilliant lectures that I think I've done my job right until I read the final exams, okay? And it occurs to me that maybe there's some work that has to be done by those folks who are receiving all that wonderful wisdom. Doctors have been prescribing medicine and surgery for people for centuries. But unless the people themselves take up the task of becoming healthy and changing their lifestyle, we won't get to health. We have drug specialists who can detox a person, but without 12-step programs and support programs, we can't keep people clean and detoxed. So the job of community is going to become greater and greater. And I want you to appreciate that that's not minor, that that's important. So I want to end by reading a meditation I wrote about time banking, because I think we need to appreciate its significance, and it's not minor. So let me just read this. We take halting steps, one by one by one, and our math is simple. 1 equals 1 equals 1. 1 is tiny, the smallest absolute, but absolute is absolute. To be human is what we do and what we are. To care, to love, to reach out, to come to each other's rescue, to grieve, to celebrate, to reach consensus, to stand up for what's right, to oppose what's wrong. These are in our DNA. They are our being and our doing. That's what 1 hour of our being means. We stand for what it means to be human. And human beings are not for sale. We're not chattel. We know there are domains that are above market price. Family, loved ones, justice, democracy, our planet, all that is holy. Not for sale, at market price, at any price. 1 hour is our piece of eternity. Fleeting, but nonetheless precious, sacred, eternal, and that is what time banking means, declares, affirms, and reaffirms. We are, and we will not be diminished. Let it be. You are awesome, and I pay tribute to you by being here. Thank you.